amazing speaker. Maybe you have been maybe you're in a new leadership role. Perhaps you are in a new leadership role, or maybe you are a more seasoned leader and you want to really show the world or your teams that you're a great leader. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the number one, yes, I said the number one public speaking mistake that you do not want to make. And if you are at the point on your leadership journey where you're trying to stand out from everybody else and be that exceptional person, then you absolutely do not want to make this mistake. This mistake will cost you dearly. And if you are new to me or you are one of my amazing subscribers, I'm glad that you are here today because this channel heavily focuses in on those advanced communication skills and strategies that will help you to communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure. Now, we're going to talk about this one public speaking mistake that you do not want to make. And I'm going to share with you how making this mistake will completely derail your executive presence. It will completely limit your options of growth, and it will completely make everyone not like you. Now, there's a couple things that have been going on in the world today, and many of us are very much aware of where we are right now. It is currently May of 2026. We have a war going on right now and a couple of things. But outside of all that, let's talk about public speaking, and I'll share with you a bit about why all this comes into play. Now, when you are speaking in front of a group of people, the biggest mistake that people make is that they forget about their audience. Let me explain to you why this happens, and let me know if this has ever happened to you. You've been asked to speak in front of a group. Perhaps you are speaking in front of a board. Perhaps you are speaking in front of a conference. Maybe you're speaking in front of your coworkers or etc. And they ask you to speak. And sometimes leaders, whether they're women in leadership or men in leadership, they may become a bit, I would say, confused because they think initially that, oh, I've been asked to speak. I get to just tell people everything I want to know, which you will be doing that. But if you only go to a meeting and just talk, it will make it very, very difficult for you to be able to engage your audience. I want to say hello and welcome to those of you watching the live today. If you have ever been a part of a meeting or a conversation where you felt that your leader, boss, manager, etc., completely forgot about you as someone in the audience and it was the most boring speech or presentation ever, put in the comments below. Let's talk about it. That's what we're talking about today. I want to say hello to Ed Brook. Hope you're doing well today. Let me know what part of the big world you all are joining from today as well. Okay, so let's see. Ed Brook, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to about sand and sand. So feel free to let me know what you're referring to. As I mentioned, many times when people are asked, especially as leaders, to present in front of a group of people, they forget the audience. And when you forget the audience, you are going to be that person that no one wants to listen to whatsoever. Now, this happens or has happened recently a bit here in the news, and we'll talk about that if we have time. But when you're preparing your presentation, your speech, or your conversation you're having, if you forget about your audience, meaning you forget about what's important to your audience, what they're struggling with right now, maybe what they want to learn more about, then this is the fastest way for you to lose yourself as a leader and in your executive presence, and people aren't going to want to listen to what you have to say. All right, I want to say hello to Wanza. Hope you're doing well today. You don't want to lose your audience. There's a couple things that have happened recently that you probably have seen on the news of individuals or leaders losing their audience. I talked about this a little bit earlier today where there was a speech that the Vice President of the United States was giving, J.D. Vance, and he was giving a speech to a group of people and he completely forgot about who he was referring to in his speech. He had to get his papers and flip it around and said he forgot where he was. And what happened? The audience booed him. Boo, boo, boo. Now, why do I mention this in terms of how this is a public speaking mistake you don't want to make? In this situation, when the vice president, which I'm sure he has a lot of things that he's managing, I'm sure there's a ton of information he's processing, and I can completely understand him being busy. However, when you're speaking to your audience, the busyness, it has to go away. The audience has to feel like you actually care about what they are going through, and they have to feel as if you have spent time and catered this discussion, this speech directly toward them. Now, what happened to the vice president is that he forgot the person's name he was saying or supposed to say. And so the people were upset about it because he fumbled and said, "Oh, I don't know where I'm at in my speech." And then they booed him. This is the reason why this is a big public speaking mistake. You have to not forget your audience. If you forget your audience, you will get booed. And if you are subscribed to my channel or watching any of my content and you want to be that person that stands out as a leader, this is one of the best mistakes that you can avoid making that will save you. You may struggle with speaking in front of a group of people. You may struggle with speaking too fast. You may struggle with just being in front of a group and even speaking. But if you come into any conversation with the foresight and the preparedness that you have to really think about, what does my audience want to hear? What do they really want to learn more about? What are some of the challenges that they're facing? Then this is what will help you. I don't want you to make the mistake of forgetting your audience. Sometimes as leaders, we perceive that we are all knowing like the Wizard of Oz and we know everything and we're just there to orate and be able to explain information to a group of people. But in actuality, we have to make our speeches, our presentations about the audience. And many leaders forget to do that. So I mentioned the vice president in terms of him being booed. That is a perfect example in terms of high stakes, high pressure communication, which is the main focus of my channel as to why you want to remember your audience. Your audience cannot feel like you don't care about them. I want to go into the chat. So we have Charles Scone. Hello, welcome. Hope you're doing well today. Let me know if you all have heard a presentation or a meeting where you felt like the person that was speaking to you forgot about you. They didn't care what you had going on in your life. They didn't care about what you had to say. Put it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. I shared with you how you can lose your audience if you don't take time to think about them. So let me go into detail in terms of specifically what you want to do. Take some time before your presentation, before your speech, and please, please commit some of this to memory. If you're reading off of a piece of paper, okay, you're reading off of a piece of paper, people are not going to take you seriously. You can still do it, and many leaders do it. But if you really, really want to stand out as a exceptional leader, not an average leader, this channel is for the individuals that are aspiring or that are already at an above average level of leadership, then you definitely want to try to commit some of those talking points to memory and don't be the person that just reads off a piece of paper. It's so boring. How many of you have been in a classroom or in a college setting where your teacher's just reading off of a piece of paper? It's so boring. So you definitely want to make sure that you're not doing something like that. It will completely lose your audience. Now, before I go into a couple of strategies you can do, let me see what's going on in the chat before I talk a bit more about how you prepare for your audience. Okay, so Ed Brooks says, "It's my birthday. Happy birthday, Ed. Hope you have a great day." And Ed Brooks says, "But the government is still in a state." Yes, so let me know what you're talking about. There's a couple ways that could be translated. I am talking about something that happened specifically here in the government in the United States, but let me know specifically what you're referring to. A couple ways you can plan for your audience specifically is to take some time and do some research. So if it doesn't take you long. You just have to know something about the people you're speaking to. So take a moment and think about what are some of the challenges that these individuals are facing. What are some of the wonderful things or the great accomplishments that these individuals have done? And how can you, as the speaker, be able to set the path or create the vision forward to overcome some of those challenges and highlight those individuals that are doing really well? If you put these three aspects of preparing for your audience so that you do not forget your audience, it will help you out tremendously when you are communicating to other people as a leader. You do not want to be the person that forgets about your audience. It's easy to do because sometimes we become very busy as leaders. We don't know what's going on. But I am telling you, if you take just a few moments to think about your audience and what are they dealing with and actually care about them, it will make a huge difference to individuals that receive your message. Now, there was another statement. I just heard this literally a few moments ago. I did not know that this happened today, but there was a conversation where the president of the United States was asked a question about Iran and negotiations, and did he consider the financial situation of Americans in a part of the negotiations? And the statement that he delivered, to me, as someone that pays very closely to how people communicate, especially in those very high pressure, high stakes situations, the message that was sent back from him appeared to not care about the financial situations of Americans, and I would say the world as a whole, because prices of things have increased in terms of gas and food and etc. There's a lot that people are really dealing with right now. And to be in a leadership role and to make a statement to say that, no, I don't really factor in the financial situation of Americans when you're talking about negotiations, etc., it just comes across as if you don't care and that you have done what? You have forgotten about your audience. Now, I'm saying this to you as being an unbiased person. I'm not saying specifically like I lean toward this particular party, that particular party, but I'm sharing this with you from the perspective of someone that has communicated in those very high stakes situations. How you deliver your message and what you say really does matter. And if you say something in a way to where your audience, the least little bit, feels that you could care less about them, your audience has been forgotten. And when your audience has been forgotten, they will forget about you. This is the reason why forgetting your audience is the biggest public speaking mistake that you can make as a leader. Please do not be that person that forgets about your audience. As I mentioned, if you don't remember anything from this live video that I'm sharing with you today, if you forget about your audience will forget about you. You may not see it, you may not be able to grasp it just yet, but they will forget about you. And you do not want your audience to forget about you. You want to be that person that is a very memorable, standout, exceptional, motivating, amazing speaker, amazing leader. And you do that by actually caring about what someone has to say. Now, there's a couple of things that are happening on my channel specifically. I'll go over those very briefly. If you all have any questions, first of all, let me know. I appreciate each and every one of you that are one of my subscribers on my channel. I appreciate you all so much. And the great insights that you share on the channel. I know many of you have asked me questions privately, so I'm looking forward to providing you with some videos to help you be able to do that. But I'm transitioning into a full-on studio. This is something that's going to happen in the month of June, which is a very exciting time for me because that is my birth month. So I'm going to transition into a fuller studio. I will have the ability to do more reaction videos. So, for instance, the the speech that the vice president did a couple last week, I believe, and he was booed. I would definitely give you a reaction on that. I would give a reaction on what President Trump had to say earlier that I just referenced a moment ago, or anything that comes up in terms of leadership that I believe will be of tremendous value to you as someone that is communicating in those high stakes situations. I will have the ability to do reaction videos and share with you what this person did very well, and what are some things this person could have improved upon. Therefore, when you are in those very high stakes, high pressure situations, I hope that you remember, oh, I remember this person said this, and they said it in this way. Maybe, or perhaps I need to say it in that way also, to give you something to work with so that when you are trying to communicate in these challenging situations, you have some foundation of what it is specifically you want to say. This is the reason why leaders struggle. Most leaders know how to communicate. However, when the conversation goes under pressure or becomes a bit more contentious, that's when people are caught off guard and they do not know exactly what it is that they want to say. So you'll start seeing some of those videos come out very soon. If you have anything specifically that you see that you want me to react to from a public speaking in a very high stakes communication, high pressure situation type of format, then let me know. I'll do a video just for you and give you a shout out in the video while I record that. So that is coming up very soon. So get ready for it. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm still going to continue doing my lives. If you're new to me, I go live on YouTube at least 7 times a week for the most part. So I've done live so much that I was invited to be on YouTube's live streamer research panel, and I was invited to be on that since last year in 2025. So I go live here consistently a lot. This is the only, only channel here on YouTube that talks about high stakes, high pressure, high communication type of situations and strategies and techniques in a live setting. So I'm here really to support you on your journey. Let me know how I can support you. If you have any questions or watch any videos, you're welcome to put a comment if there's something that you want to learn more about. If you are new to this world of communicating in those under pressure like situations, there's a couple of videos I would highly recommend for you to take a look at to get you started with the foundation. Any videos on my live tab, that's where I spend a bit more of my time, that talk about thinking on your feet, managing your emotions under pressure, controlling your tone of voice, maintaining eye contact, managing difficult conversations, are very good fundamental videos that will help you be able to navigate these situations. Now, here very soon, I am going to be creating a playlist here on my channel. I have a couple items on the playlist right now, but there's a few other items that I'm going to include in the playlist. One of those aspects will be high stakes communication in action. As many of you know, as our audience grows, so do the trolls. And I do have several trolls that come onto the channel that say offensive things. And I point them out because one, I'm not afraid to hear someone say something offensive. I could care less. But I point it out because I want you, as someone that is watching this video, to understand what my thought process is when I have those very insulting, offensive type comments that come into play. And I want you to see, how do I respond to it? Therefore, when the next time this happens to you, that you know, oh, I remember Dr. Jacinta has someone that said something really offensive, and this is how she handled it. I just want you all to be prepared, because many people, as I mentioned, they know how to communicate as leaders. But the problem is that when a conversation goes in a different direction that you did not plan for it to go into, sometimes people just freeze. They don't know what to say, they don't know what to do. And I don't want you to be in that situation. Now, if you happen to be a woman in leadership, you are in my direct target audience that I provide executive coaching and consultation services to. You're welcome to contact me at exciteexcellence.org to start off with an executive strategy session to help you start to develop a strong foundation in terms of how can you overcome some of these challenges and move forward in your life as a leader. If you're at the point where you really are serious about communicating at that higher level, maybe you want to learn how to control your facial expressions. Maybe you want to learn how to pause and become a bit more comfortable with silence. Then you absolutely want to sign up for my high stakes communication intensive. It will completely change your life. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next video. Let me know how I can support you and what you want to see more of on the channel, and I will see you all in the next video.